Hello, this is Antara from Impact Magazine, and today I have here with me Mr. Kartik Johari, the Chief Marketing and Growth Officer at Nobel Hygiene. So, today we will be talking about the brand's marketing journey, its innovative approach in this industry, and how this brand is focused on giving an impact in people's everyday life. Welcome, Kartik. Thank you for being on Impact Magazine.
My pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.
Karthik, I'll start with the first question. In 2025, what are your main marketing goals and across brands like Rio, Friends, and Teddyy, which are the brands you're putting on priority right now?
So, priority for us for this year would be Teddy Baby Diapers and Friends Adult Diapers. With Teddy, we have a very distinct and unique voice, which is on digital. And there are a lot of unique activities that we are doing in terms of the kind of messaging, in terms of the kind of conversations that we want to have with mothers.
Yeah.
And that is being accelerated this year after a lot of experimentation last year, where we found a true, clear edge, where we have a tone which no other brand is taking. And we're very proud of the engagement that we're receiving from mothers because it's showing that this kind of conversation is being well appreciated. With regards to Friends Adult Diapers, I mean, the category penetration itself is around 5%. So there is a lot more need to build on awareness for the actual product and the category itself. So consequently, a lot of our work is very modular in nature, right?
Yeah.
Because it's after all, a susu potty issue. And people are very sensitive to talking about it. In primary research, we've come across participants who've suffered from incontinence for 4 years, 5 years, haven't even discussed it with their own spouse. So at that point, we want to make sure that for whichever state or whatever cohort we try to have a conversation with, we can tailor the message to their specific cultural realities as much as we can, so that the message lands harder and can cut through some of the noise that exists.
And to communicate this message for this awareness, what platforms are you choosing? Like, what is the mode of communication?
So we've seen a tremendous amount of success with YouTube, both through connected TVs and through the mobile app itself. And from the very beginning of our media journey, which is over a decade now, I think we've been very gung ho on regional content, regional news, and impact properties. And I think that approach has served us very, very well. With national level platforms sort of diluting your message, right? And like I mentioned before, we do want to be a lot more focused with what we are talking about. I think these properties have given us some tremendous results. And of course, all of this is supplemented by BTL and in market awareness activities.
Okay. As you said about YouTube platforms, so I have seen on YouTube and on digital platforms, there are some kind of user generated content and customer testimonials. So, what was the insight behind this and how is it working out for Nobel Hygiene?
So, the campaign which we piloted and we tried, right, in terms of success, I think we have data that proves it. So, we've delivered a over 15% increase in consideration in the state that we tried this approach with a fractional budget, right? So, I think it's been tremendously well received. And kudos to my team for genuinely coming up with this entire concept and for making it happen. Because you understand it's so difficult for someone to come on national TV and talk about the fact that they have incontinence. And my team worked very hard with some research partners, went through a tremendous amount of work to find genuine Friends users who were courageous enough who said that, I understand how big of a problem this was. And I am so appreciative of the brand and the product. I don't mind coming and talking about this. So we managed to find a few women who were very supportive in this cause. So for Manjula, for Rani, we've sort of used their voice and we've amplified it with the hopes that lakhs of more women will draw inspiration and courage from their story and will adopt the product themselves.
So there must be an extensive research behind it.
Oh yeah, we are huge believers of research. We have a yearly research budget. We work with some of the best research partners available out there in the country, and all of our wins, frankly, have come from this place, from making sure that you try to live your consumer's life as closely as possible. And I think that's one of the core reasons for our success.
And for the research of this campaign, basically the UGC thing, so how many years did it take time to find the customers and talk to them? Like, you'll have to even talk to them to make them comfortable in front of the camera.
Yeah, absolutely. So kudos to my team that cracked this in 6 weeks. So it didn't take years. The years went in us trying to identify specific nuances of their problems. So when we finally spoke to end consumers, we were so pointed with our questions and we understood so deeply what their actual ground reality and their issues were, that they were very appreciative of the fact that, okay, here's a brand that's talking to us who genuinely understands what the issue is. So it's less about selling a product, right? It's more about raising awareness for the entire category itself. And though the time frame was short, I think the efforts which me and my entire team took were phenomenal. So that's what's led to the success of the campaign.
One more question right now, as you said that awareness is a main key point right now. So would you say the main strategy right now is not just persuasion or just education?
I don't appreciate the question because I think they both can go hand in hand, right?
Okay.
There is no point raising pure awareness unless there is an element of persuasion. Only large scale brands with high enough penetration in their categories can afford to go for pure awareness, right?
Okay.
So look at Mondelez as a classic example. Everyone knows what chocolates are or soaps, right? There you need your brand to resonate. But for us, it is equally important for us to raise awareness about the category, but also to persuade people to come into the category. I think at least try. Because we have seen from research this amazing amount of change that happens with the person and within their entire families once they do end up adopting a product and, sort of embracing Azadi for themselves.
Okay. So now, as you spoke about the Azadi, so I would like to talk about the Azadi Mubarak campaign. I think it was launched some time ago. So how did that idea came about? So what are the impact of it, the ROI rates, and is there something that is going on right now around this campaign?
So Azadi Mubarak is the tagline for the brand, friends, and we are very proud of it because it's so hard for you to distill the ethos of your brand and your consumer's reality in simply two words, right? So Azadi is what friends promises, Azadi is what a consumer experiences. So thus we say Azadi Mubarak. With that, what we've done is we've sort of around Independence Day, we've created an Azadi week internally where every Noble employee across sales and in HO, which alone is some over 750 people, we all wear the diaper every single day. And my sales team, which is 650 plus strong, they wear an adult diaper every single day for an entire week when they're in market. So not only does it help bring them closer to the product, but we've seen astounding videos of retailer conversions happen because at the end of it, they still question. They're like, sir, ये comfortable है कि नहीं? ये कितना absorb कर लेता है? And the sales guy just simply lifts a part of his shirt and says, sir, I've been wearing it the whole day. I'm at 4 p.m. now and it's mad comfort. Then the retailer suddenly like, no, wait, what's your pitch again? You're wearing the product. So the entire perspective changes. So it's we've just celebrated the 4th Azadi week here at Nobel Hygiene. And fortunately or unfortunately for the rest of the organization, my birthday is on the 11th of August. So now I say we kick off Azadi Week every day as a birthday gift to me from the organization, and we take it through 15th and for an entire week.
Right. Also about the reunion campaign in 2025 that happened, how did it come about? What was the insight behind this?
Of course, the Goodfellows name and since the TG is such a brilliant match, right? The kind of people that they service and the ones who we would like to raise awareness about incontinence from. It seemed like a match long overdue, right? So we've been in touch with their team for close to almost a year, and finally the right opportunity presented itself. I think both sides of the table have collaborated really well, and some fantastic results have come out from the perspective of seniors engaging with the category and them being comfortable enough to go at home or go within their friend circles and discussing about this category. So I think it was a tremendous experiment and a brilliant success. So, and fingers crossed for many more.
The brand Rio, it had an excellent campaign some years back with Radhika Apte. So it made great news. But right now, nothing much is happening on Rio side. Not many campaigns.
Correct.
So is there some specific reason behind it, or are you planning something in the future?
So Rio has been, at least in terms of revenue as a brand, has been steadily growing. Where the campaign perspective comes in from is Very honestly, at the end of it, everyone has finite amount of time and resources. So we then at the end of it had to sit back and say, okay, what is the backbone of the organization? And that's number one, Friends Adult Diapers, right? So we said that we have to concentrate a certain amount of our time and attention as well. So if Friends gets the bulk of it and Teddyy gets another huge chunk of it, so do we leave Rio aside for this year? Yes. Does that mean that we have forgotten about it or have no plans in the coming years? Absolutely not. I think Rio is known for the fact, the bold messaging and law changing aside, right? Exactly. I think we were the first ones to genuinely innovate and launch a heavy flow pad for women in the country. Yes. There are two more NPDs under the Rio portfolio which we are working on. Both are going to be very unique initiatives, first time launches in India. So do stay tuned for what we do with the brand next year.
So when can we expect this?
Next financial year.
Okay. Also, with right now digital media getting a huge chunk of attention.
Absolutely.
So how is Nobel Hygiene's budget divided? Which mediums do you prioritize more? TV, in-app channels, digital social media channels.
So it's actually a very clean split, right? I think 40% of our money goes to digital, 40% of our money goes to TV, about 15% of the money goes across various other modalities. So you will have print, or you will have PR, you will have radio and some other ancillaries, and we save a chunk for BTL then as well. So that's a very, very clean segregation. Now within digital, the landscape itself evolves so dramatically, right? So currently we are seeing a tremendous amount of success with general social media push on Instagram, Facebook through the Meta suite and on YouTube, and that's where a bulk of the consumption is also tailored towards. However, we will keep experimenting, and whatever aligns best with our consumers and our message through that channel resonates with them, I think we will continue to shuffle money and keep moving.
Okay. You also spoke about, I think, CTV advertisement at the start of our conversation. So is CTV a major strategy in your marketing?
Yes, yes, right, absolutely. And enough has been written about CTV, I think, by other people who spend a tremendous amount of money on it. Our media partners, Madison, who've been with us for the longest times, have always been gung-ho on CTV. And we saw a tremendous amount of awareness and consideration lift because there is a purity of consuming advertising through CTV alone, right? When it happens on YouTube, on mobile, you can disengage. Most people are actually zoned into the lower right section saying, okay, when is the button to skip the ad going to come up? And we personally don't believe in unskippable ads. So I don't want to force my messaging onto someone, right? The entire onus should be to make messaging which is sticky enough and has a strong enough hook that people want to continue seeing it, right? So because of this, I think CTV as a construct appealed really well to us. And if we want to genuinely raise awareness about this product and category, it's important to spark this conversation in the living room. And again, CTV is a perfect match for that. So far for us, it's worked out tremendously well.
Also, with coming time, the attention span of people is coming down. So as you said, you don't believe in skipping ads. So what is your right now what will be your focus? Is it like 20-second or 30-second reels that is something you will be focusing on more?
There is a growing predisposition to shorter form of content. But like I said previously, right, I think it does a disservice to long form storytelling. On our social itself, we regularly release videos which are close to a minute and a half. We get a 30 to 40%, 100% completion rate on those organically and significant in number, right? So I think our principle will continue to be make content which your consumers and which the larger audience wants to see and wants to consume. It is less about, most marketers get very boxed in with what is happening in the boardroom and what is my boss going to say, etc., etc. For us, our North Star is our consumer. And if there is any kind of communication that a consumer appreciates and wants to consume, then how can we seamlessly integrate our brand into it, and how can we make it fun for them to engage with us? I think that's the paradigm in which we operate with.
There are also many emerging trends in 2025, be it AI or influencer marketing. So several things are coming on. So how would you say, what is the next medium or mode of communication you are betting on big for the coming year maybe?
Oh, for the coming year?
for the
Hmm.
future, anytime in the future?
It's a very interesting question. I don't have a 100% locked answer for that. I think there is a tremendous amount of meat on the table with existing channels, etc., and how you can use those. However, there is one very offbeat way to get in touch with consumers, which is having a huge moment back in the sun, which is physical touch points, at least in terms
Okay.
of mails, right? Because there is so much white noise now, right? And it's across all your entire digital spectrum. So we've come a whole circle. Now, one of the most effective ways to again reconnect with your end consumer is to send a beautifully designed actual hard mail. And that will get opened, it will get interacted with, it will get consumed, it will stay on the dining table of the family for a week, and you will get far more impressions and higher interactivity and engageability, at least a better spike on awareness than you would with just, plastering 10 seconds across YouTube and hope that people will remember you.
Okay, so you
So
would
we're
say
back to
that,
old school being the
yeah.
new norm.
So email marketing you think will come back
Mail
again as,
marketing,
okay.
genuine mail marketing, and other experiential forms of outreach, right? There is a true tangibility there that your end
Okay.
consumers, you get to interact with them, absorb their experience with your product. Of course, such modalities are very difficult to scale, and I think that's where the challenge comes from, and good marketers will succeed at that.
AI is one more trend that is coming up. So, is there something that is Noble Hygiene doing with AI, creation of content or emerging ideas or something?
So, on terms of creation, of course, I think we were one of the first ones to embrace AI completely. I personally was one of the few, I think the first 100 people in the country to get access to DALI, which was the first image generation engine, right? And the first thing I did was call my internal graphic designer. I said, just type something out, and they were blown away. So, from the very beginning, we said you have to adopt these tools, you have to get better at these tools. If not, you're going to get redundant. So now a tremendous amount of our in-house content generation does happen through AI, proofreading, etc. There is going to be a place for designers and for actual people, but they have to work smarter with the new tools that are available to you. How much does it traditionally cost you to do a baby shoot, right? I can tell you that if you do it the right way with established baby photographers, a proper set, you have safe areas for babies, places for them to sleep, etc. And it's a 2-day shoot because babies are unpredictable. It costs a tremendous amount of money, definitely upwards of 20-25 lakhs. Now, but my team must be one of the foremost experts in the country of generating babies out of AI, right? And we've done that successfully through a lot of trial and error. All kudos to my in-house content team for that. But has this reduced our time? Absolutely. Cost? Absolutely. So there is a tremendous amount of value which is still left to be unlocked.
Got it. Also, based on your 2025 learnings,
Mm-hmm.
how would you say you will change or modify your marketing mix or marketing strategies for the coming year for 2026?
I think modularity will continue to be a huge theme, right? Because you want to take relevant, culturally contextual messages to the right kind of TG in specific states. We've been experimenting with this strategy for the past year. It's yielded tremendous results, and we're going to continue down this road. So, not many more changes there. We are trying, and we've been working very closely with some trusted partners on getting some larger voices to attach themselves to the category, just so it cuts through clutter and we can bring more awareness at scale. So there are two ways of operating. One being a modular construct at a smaller level, another a blanket on top, which is a national campaign. And hopefully we have them intersect at some point that creates tremendous synergy, not only for the brand, but for the consumers as well.
Got it. Thank you. That would be all from my side.
Thank you so much. Thank you. It's such a pleasure.